Okay. All right. So, glad that you guys could be on here today. I want to kind of go through an opportunity that I overlooked when I was 19 years old in the military because I didn't understand it and I was young. And I really didn't have the desire to leave the military and to get into life insurance and financial services because I was having a good old time in the Navy traveling around the world. So I went to a meeting in person, and they tried to explain to me that if you want a career that is sustainable, which means you can do it until the day you pass away and never have to worry about your income again, that's how they got me to the presentation. But the honest to God truth, I didn't understand it. And again, it's just, I didn't really get it. So I kind of took a hard pass on it. And then later in life, decided I want to be an entrepreneur after military, and I got into real estate and some other things. So this is kind of what we're going to talk about today, the topics of discussion. Very structurized in this presentation because I know your time is very valuable, like mine. So we're just going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off. So real quick, give you a little bit of background. I grew up in West Virginia. We call that area the DMV, which is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I don't know why they don't put the W for West Virginia, but I put this on there because I want you to know that I did not come from money. My parents didn't have money. My dad was 13 years old and was emancipated as a man, and he was married at 17 and had me at 17. And he struggled until the day he died with finances, and just recently passed 2 years ago and left my mom a widow, but also left her with a bunch of debt. So this thing with the life insurance opportunity is something that's personally triggered something in me because of the recent events that have happened in my life. My wife, Millie, she is the daughter of a preacher. She's from Venezuela. And if you know anything about preachers in other countries, they don't live the lavish lifestyle that a lot of preachers live in America. So in her situation, she's been with me for more than 17 years, married, real estate broker, mortgage broker. So we live a life that, we want to stay independent as an entrepreneur, try to make as enough money as we can to support our family, which those are our two sons that just miraculously came out of nowhere in my early 40s. I'm now 49 with a 5-year old and a 6-year old, and finally realizing that I need to protect their future. But at the same time, I can't continue to work for another 20 years. Um, Maybe I could physically, but I don't want to. I have a military background, as I mentioned. So I'm very systematic in the way that I operate. And then also, again, with the family, if someone says, why do you continue to get out there as an entrepreneur and work, 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 work? It's because I have a family, right? And I do not believe that another man or government institution should be raising my family and my kids, right? So I am the provider, and that's what motivates me. Again, we talked about, our business life. We've been in real estate for 20 years. It doesn't seem like it's been 20 years, and it's actually amazing to have a company that's been in existence that long because that's very rare. We own a mortgage company called Home Rock Mortgage. We've been doing that for 7 years. We have an insurance agency, which we have been doing property and casualty, but we just expanded into life, health, and then also annuities, but particularly we're focusing on the life insurance financial services. We're a real estate investor, if that's what you want to call it, when you own real estate and you can monetize it to make money. I've always wanted to be an Airbnb host. So 4 years ago, I said, hey, let's try that because it seems like it's fun. And honestly, it is fun. You get to meet a lot of strangers from around the country, staying in your house and building relationships. So, what is the Alliance? So you may have never heard of the Alliance, and you may have never heard of the Integrity Marketing Group, is what the Integrity Company really is. The Alliance is simply an insurance marketing organization, no different than a real estate company. Remax, Keller Williams, Century 21. They hire a bunch of agents within their brand to go out and sell real estate, right? So an insurance marketing organization, which could be called an IMO or an FMO, field marketing organization. Same thing. It's just a brokerage that has a bunch of salespeople that get out there and sell stuff, right? So their thing is, what are they selling? Life insurance, right? So they recruit life insurance agents across the United States. They have 150 employees at their home office, which is in Burlington, North Carolina. I've been there personally. I've seen it with my own eyes. This is a huge compound. Like these guys have an indoor basketball court and a weight room, and everything is put up in this place, right? So it's pretty impressive. So what they're doing is they're providing a proven sales system, which these guys started 24 years ago. Very impressive, to have a company that's been around for more than 2 decades is pretty cool. So they have a proven sales system. They have a state-of-the-art lead program, and acts as a liaison to our carriers, which would be the insurance companies we're going to talk about, and provides assistance needed for our agents to receive the training they need for success. So this is the founder, Andy Albright, CEO. If you register with Eventbrite, there was a little video that you could click on, and it talked about, he talked about his background and how he got into the business and what the alliance eventually came to be. This is his daughter, and this is his son, Spencer, and this is his son-in-law, Brandon Manley, and then this is Spencer's wife here. So what I like about this conglomerate is they are family owned, and the family's in the business. One of the concerns that a lot of times people have when they join an organization is, what will happen when the founder or CEO decides to either sell the business or step away, right? And if that happens, will the culture of the company change? So this man, Andy Albright, he already has his second generation already in place to be able to carry the mantle for this company. So I'm not afraid that anything's going to change because I know these people personally. They're good people and they love what they're doing at the Alliance. Now, what does the Alliance sell? Well, they're not physically selling something tangible. They're selling services, right? Like life insurance, Medicare, maybe a service where they're transferring your money from your 401k into an insurance company, getting a high rate of return and protecting your money from volatility, right? That's called annuities. So they're helping people to be connected with insurance companies and healthcare providers. So they're not like in real estate, we sell a physical, property, right? Or if you're a mortgage loan originator, you're originating a loan that will be attached to something physical, called real estate. So they're selling the future. They're selling hope. They're selling protection. They're selling wealth building, right? So this is why I love this financial service industry, because if I can sell something that's not tangible, right? It's like there's no inventory. Like if I was a car salesman, I'd have to sell cars. But what happens if I can't get my hands on cars and I got 1,000 people that want to buy a car? Well, if I have no cars, then there's no way that I can earn income because there's nothing for me to sell because I don't have the inventory. By selling financial services, there is no limitation because you're not selling something tangible. And if you're not selling something tangible, then that means we can hire unlimited number of salespeople because we're not limited to inventory. So these are just some of the brands that most of you have heard before. Everyone's heard of Mutual Omaha. Everyone's heard of CVS, but they're selling the services that are offered by each one of these insurance carriers. Now, like what type of services, or if you want to call them products, do these companies have? So pretty much there's three buckets of services. There's the life insurance products, for example, mortgage term. The most popular trigger word for mortgage insurance is mortgage protection insurance, right? It's insurance that a homeowner is going to purchase so that in the event something happens to him or maybe someone in his family, that is going to be able to wipe out some of their monthly income that's going to cause them to not be able to afford the mortgage payment. This is a policy that can literally pay off their home, or there's additional products inside this type of policy. For example, if you get sick and you can't work or you get laid off, Maybe it could be where you're going to have an income coming in until you get back up on your feet. Okay, so that's one type of life insurance service or product that the Alliance markets on behalf of these companies. Final expenses is, hey, if I pass away today, how much debt do I have that I accumulated that I'm going to end up stiffing somebody in my family with, right? You don't want to stiff anybody in your family. So final expenses, how much debt do I have? Because I don't want to have that on my family, right? So if you got 20,000, 30,000 credit cards, car payments, things like that, it's what are my final expenses that I need to make sure are going to be taken care of in the event something bad happens. And then you have products for children like children's whole life. Now, tax-free retirement, right? I don't know how old you guys are. I'm 49. I know for a fact there'll be no Social Security around, even though I've paid into the pot. The problem is when you have this many people sucking from Social Security and you have that many people putting into the pot, eventually the pot runs out, right? So it's math. You can't cheat the math. So a lot of people are looking at different types of uh, policies or vehicles where they can save money today and then hopefully have some of that money left over when they retire. Some of those products are annuities, which typically someone in their older age says, you know what, I want to pull my money out of my 401k, my stock market, my mutuals, my bonds, and I want to put it in an area that's not going to allow me to lose money. I only want to gain money. We can help people to move that money. And these carriers, they actually pay you a commission for doing that. Index Universal Life, it is a life insurance policy that has an investment part of it called a cash balance, where you can put money in that, grow it at an exponential rate. And by the time you retire, you can live off of this income without paying the taxes on it. And then there's other products out there that we offer, like estate planning, dental, disability, accident insurance. You guys may have heard of Aflac. They're all over the TV. Aflac is one of the carriers. You can offer those products as well. And the way I look at it is you can offer products to individuals, or if you want to specialize in business to business and offer these products to businesses, you can do that as well. Okay, so how does this all work? Very simple. There's millions of people in the United States of America. The last time I looked at the number, I think it was like 368 million people. And they go through situations in their life. Life changes, let's call it that, right? It could be tragedies, like maybe someone lost a family member recently. But there's other things, like maybe a person bought a house, right? Maybe someone had children. So whatever changes in a person's life, you can buy data to know exactly what changed in that person's life, right? And if you can get that data, then what this company does is they send out these little mail out cards. Like, so for example, if you just purchase a home, probably within 60 days, you're going to get these little mailers come into your inbox saying, hey, congratulations that you purchased a home. Now it's time to protect your home in the event that tragedy strikes, right? That's the mortgage protection. Or maybe you just had, children, right? So what happens is you get something in the mail and it says, hey, congratulations, your family's growing. Here are some insurance policies that can now cover your children. So they're buying data based on life events, changes in people's lives. The people are getting it in the mail. They're saying, this is interesting. I want more information. I want to speak to a local representation, right? A rep. They fill it out. They drop it in the mail. You get access to those leads from these prospects. And what you do is you just reach out to them. You meet and greet. You can meet with them in person. Maybe they're busy. They just want to meet with you on the internet, right? It doesn't matter. They want something, particularly information. You're going to be the person that gives it to them. And in the event you can match them up with one of these services that we offer, then the insurance company is going to pay the alliance, who collects all the money. And then the alliance is going to turn around and pay you a commission. So you receive income for your services rendered. The consumer gets a peace of mind because now they're protected. They're confident that at night when they go to sleep, if something happens to me and I don't wake up, my family and my loved ones are going to be taken care of. Now, on top of you providing the services, because there's no tangible product that we're selling, you can invite your friends, your family, your coworkers into an opportunity where they can help you to grow your book of business, right? Because at the end of the day, there's only so much time in the day. So there is an opportunity where you can actually hire people, bring them into the alliance, and based on what they're selling, you also can receive revenue from what they're doing. And because this is a sales organization, what sales organization doesn't give you like perks to sell more stuff, right? So this is what it's talking about with the all expense paid trips. The more stuff that you sell, the more people you hire. Insurance companies, they pay out bonuses to the alliance, and then the alliance takes those bonuses and they turn it into fun, i.e., full paid vacation for you and one other person that you care about. All right. So anytime you're going to get into a sales related job or career, there's two things that you're probably going to ask, right? Am I going to be trained? Because I know nothing about life insurance and Medicare and all these other stuff. So if I don't know anything, can you teach me how to sell these products and services, right? Teach me how to sell, but more importantly, teach me about what I am going to sell. Because you got so many insurance companies that you represent, surely they're selling different types of products, right? So to solve that problem, the Alliance has 3 live calls every single week. You can see the schedule right here. They are connected to the YouTube, which almost everybody is getting their information from YouTube these days. So when they broadcast from their studio, they got a studio in North Carolina, they got a studio in Florida. They're doing live professional broadcasts where they're bringing on either salespeople, maybe it's insurance carriers, and they're just giving you a daily dose of what you need to do to be successful. Now, some of you might say, well, I don't learn through the internet, right? That's fine, because here's the other way that they train. So there's 2 other ways that you can get live in-person training. The first way is through the national conferences. So the National Agents Alliance, for short, we just call it the Alliance. They hold 4 national conferences each year to inspire, train, and empower sales agents. Insurance carriers are invited to educate agents on a range of services, including life, health, retirement, and estate planning. Now, I know this presentation talks about life insurance, right? But why is it all this other stuff being included? Very simple. Here in the state of Texas, when you get your life license, in Texas, it's not just life insurance, it's life, health, and then also accidental, right? Which would be something like the AFLAC. So, yes, you technically have a life insurance license, but in Texas, you can do other things with that license as well. Now, if you just say, I only want to do life and I don't want to do health or any of this other stuff, that's fine. But the license that you receive, you can do a lot more than life insurance. So these national conferences, they piggyback them, different states throughout the year, 4 times a year. They're typically 3-day events, and it's like 8 hours a day of training. One of the great things about it is all these big name companies, they send their delegation to these conferences where you can shake the hand of the person that works for AFLAC or CVS, or and then you can talk to them personally. You can receive some of their marketing material, and then they will educate you on, this is the services that we provide, but more importantly, this is how you sell it to a business or a consumer. So you can get that direct connect with the insurance carriers. Okay. Now, on top of the 4 national, they have what's called a hotspot, right? And if you go to the allianceevents.com, you'll see the hotspots on a map of America. Now, a hotspot is the corporate trainers and the top producers across the nation. They will actually fly in to the local town. So, for example, I'm in Houston. They're here every month in Houston. They go to Dallas, Austin. They're in North Carolina, Colorado, Oklahoma, all over the place, right? So if they're coming into a town that you're located in, then they're going to have an intimate one-on-one training session with you. Sometimes it's going to be a 1-day event. Sometimes it could be a 2-day event. But this is where you can have that very intimate one-on-one connection to be able to get that training that you need, okay? Because the national conventions, listen, I've been to like 3 of them. We're talking about thousands of agents show up at those. At the hot spots, you might get 15, maybe 50 people. So there's a little bit more time for you to spend with the corporate trainers. All right. So one of the resources that they give you, because not only will you need training, you're going to need resources. They have designed a very robust backend system called the ARC. It's the Agent Resource Center. You don't have to pay for it. I know some people, they go to different insurance companies and are like, well, this company charges me $200 a month, regardless if I sell anything. I get that. That's what they do. But the Alliance, they give this to you for free, right? Because you need it. This is where you're going to get access to even more training, like on-demand training through the university. So they have the Alliance University. You can break it down into, carrier training. What does this particular insurance company offer? It could be 5 different products they offer, and they'll have a video for every single product that they have, right? Or maybe you're brand new and you've never had to do sales over the phone, right? And you need to learn scripts. Well, they'll have an area within the university under sales where you can go through phone scripts so that you can get more comfortable of talking to people over the phone and setting up those appointments. So anything that you would need to run a full-scale business, you've got those resources, okay? So for example, a database. You need a CRM to manage all your clients, right? And all their policies and their phone numbers and their addresses and the last time you spoke with them. So there's a CRM that's actually built into this. And again, you get it for free. And also you get to track your money, your commissions in here as well. So it has an accounting part for your commissions. Now, since we're talking about accounting, which is money, how do I get paid? Very simple. These insurance companies, they do not want to hire thousands of employees under their brand to go out and market their services, right? So what they do is they use FMOs or IMOs, the insurance marketing organizations, as independent contractors. So the way it works is they have a certain percentage of commission that's tied to every product or service that they offer. So when we sell a service, that percentage that they pay on that premium, they're going to give it to the Alliance, and then the Alliance is going to give you your portion of what you earned. Okay. And this is some of the carriers. There's probably like 3 times more than this, but this is just an example of a payout grid. You get access to this when you come on board with the Alliance, and you can kind of take a look at this. Now, one of the things I do want to show you, because we're going to talk about really how you get paid on the next slide. Some of the products, well, most of the products, you're going to get paid a good commission up front, but some of them have renewals, right? So if you sell a product and that person continues to pay their insurance, premium year after year, there's small residual that you get on each one of those policies as well. Okay, so let's talk about how do you make money? Now, there's different types of money. There's money that you have to get out there and work for, but there's a type of money called passive income. Passive income is money that you technically don't have to go and work for. This is the type of money that if you own a company, you're an investor and you own a company like a McDonald's, for example, right? The guy who owns it probably is not doing any work inside the McDonald's because he probably owns like a bunch of them, right? So he doesn't have to do any work because he owns it. He has other people working his McDonald's for him. And if his McDonald's makes $10 million a year and his salary is $2 million, he made $2 million without having to do any work. That's passive income. It's when you don't have to do any work. Now, I know this might seem like, well, if you don't do work, you're a lazy person, right? I get it, because we all got to do some type of work, at least when you get started. But the honest to God truth is there's only so much time in the day. So sometimes you do have to work to make money to pay your bills, but you run out of time. So you're capped. So you got to find an opportunity that, hey, if I'm going to work 8 hours a day and make, $150,000 a year, how could I leverage an opportunity that if I hire 1,000 other people and they're also working 8 hours a day, how can I receive income off of that? That's one way to look at it. Or simply, I'm not trying to work when I'm 65 years old. I don't want to do anything. So this opportunity, I got involved with this. My wife got involved with this strictly because of this right here, the passive income. So first, let me explain what percentage of income do you make when you make a sales, right? Your commission. So everyone is starting at a 55% commission level, but here's the thing. You can go up to 140%. Now, if you're in real estate, you're probably scratching your head and saying, how in the world can you get paid 140%? There's like almost no industries out there where you can make more than 100%. I'll give you an example. If you work for Keller Williams and you're an agent under that brokerage, if a commission came in and let's say it's, I don't know, $10,000 and the brokerage keeps 20%, which would be 2,000, and you get 80%, which is 8,000, right? That's 100% margin. You can't go above 100%, right? So in this opportunity, where it's different is insurance companies, which really are banks, right? When you pay your $100 monthly insurance premium, you're just moving your $100 into a bank, which insurance companies are bank, and they're taking your $100 and they're invested it in so many other places, right? So they'll take your $100 and they'll invest it, and maybe they'll turn it into 120, maybe they'll turn it into 140 because they know where to make the money grow. So that's how important your money is to them, because they're going to leverage your money to make even more money. That's why these guys have trillions of dollars as insurance carriers. So how do they pay 140%? Very simple. It's because they want your client's money, right? So they're willing to pay more than what the premium is. So you start off by making 55%. And if you're someone who doesn't like staying on the bottom and you want to make more money, then simply you just start selling stuff, right? So if you sell, for example, $2,500 of premium 2 months in a row, then automatically you get bumped up to 60%. If you sell 12,500 premium 2 months in a row, then you get bumped up to 80%. That's one way based on you selling stuff. Or if you hire people to help you to sell stuff based on the accumulation of what you sell plus what they sell, you just start accumulating. So for example, if you hire 3 or 4 people and in 3 months, all the sales you made equal $50,000, then guess what? You're getting the promotion. And then as you can see, you can keep rising all the way up to 140%. Now, for the sake of this presentation, because I like easy numbers, because people can understand easy, solid, round numbers, I'm going to use a commission level of 100%, just for the sake of making the numbers easy, because people want to know, what does it look like in my commission if I sell, but also if I build a team? So we're going to give an example of, if you have a client, you personally, that says, I can afford $100 a month towards my life insurance policy or whatever product that you're selling, right? So that $100 a month is what we call a $1,200 annual premium, for short is AP. Okay, so that's 1,200 bucks. So now we have a service that we sold with a dollar amount, 1,200. You're getting a percentage of the 1,200. So in this particular situation, if you sold the policy, you just earn at 100% commission $1,200. You see why I'm using the 100%? Because it's easy to calculate the commission. 100% of $1,200 is $1,200. Now, this is what's very strange about the insurance industry. When you sell something and the person's making monthly payments, they're technically not making that full $1,200 payment until the 12th month. But the insurance company's like, listen, even though you didn't collect $1,200 up front, we're going to give you an advance on that $1,200 commission, 9 months worth of that up front, within days of when you got the contract signed with the client and you collected that first month deposit, right? So you sell a $1,200 policy, your commission is $1,200, they advanced you $900. Now you might be thinking, well, what if I sell this policy and 3 months later, the person stops paying that $100. Well, guess what? You got to give some of that money back, right? That's what you call a chargeback. My recommendation is don't go around selling stuff to people that they can't afford, right? Because if you do that, it's going to hurt them and your reputation, and it's going to bite you in the butt because now you got to pay the money back. So this is why they don't give you 100% of the commission up front. They give you 9 months in advance. And then once that person has paid the 9 months, the last 3 payments of that 12-month cycle, they will break the payment down into 3 payments. So you'll get $100 in month number 10, 11, and 12. So what's going to happen is whatever you sell today, in 10 months from now, you got some more checks coming in to your bank account, direct deposit. Okay, so you're building your pipeline of income for the future. So that in itself, if I sell something today that the prospect is not even paying the full payment for 1 full year, and you're going to give me 9 months of my commission up front, I don't know many industries that do that. Now, here's where it gets better. Because at the end of the day, you can only sell so much, right? Either you're limited based on the number of clients you can sell to. See, that's really the limitation. How many people can I provide the service to? You got to keep finding more people that you have to personally sell. But what if you hire people into the alliance, right? Because there's no tangible product. So there is no limitation because there's no inventory. So you could go out and hire 10 people today, get them trained in insurance sales. And what's going to happen is whatever they sell, the difference between their commission level, remember we started at 55, we're using an example at 100 to make it easy. Whatever they sell, their commission percentage, the difference from their percentage and your percentage, for example, if you're at 100% and they're at 55%, it's a 45% difference. You would receive 45% of the 1,200, which means a commission of $540, right? Now, let's say that was Bob. He's brand new, been in the business 60 days, and now he's starting to sell stuff. If he's at 55%, you made $540 on all his policies at $1,200. Sue, maybe she's been around, in the industry for a couple years, and she just wants to switch companies. She already knows what she's doing, and she blows through the 60%, right? So now she's out there selling it, and because she's on a 60% commission level and you're at 100, you'd make $480 on the same exact policy that she sold, $1,200 annual. And then you got Joe. Joe's been with the company. He sold a bunch of stuff. He also hired people that their volume helped push him up to 80%. So the difference of his 80% and your 100%, which is 20%, whatever he personally sells, you just made $240. So the thing is, there is $1,200 up for grabs, and people that you hire based on their contract level, you receive the difference because why? You hired them for the alliance. This is how they have thousands of agents across the country. That's passive income number one. Any person that you directly hire, you will receive a team override because you're building your team, a team override on what they sell. But here's passive income number two. You see, Joe, Sue, and Bob, you personally recruited them. But Joe is no fool. He's going to say, well, wait a minute, if Corey's out there and he hired me and he gets a split off of everything I do, then I want to do the same thing. So Joe goes and hires May, and then May hires Gus. Now, you up here, for example, I'm just going to use me, Corey. I don't know Gus. I don't know May because I didn't personally hire them. Joe hired these people. Now, if Gus sells a $100 a month policy, which is $1,200 annual premium, that means there's $1,200 in commissions that are coming in to the company to be split up, right? Because why? Gus is at a 55% level, so he's getting $660. May recruited him, so the difference between 65 and 55, May ends up getting 120, right? Joe is at 80%, so what he's going to do now is he's going to get the difference of what May gets, so he has 180, and because I recruited Joe, I didn't recruit May and I didn't recruit Gus, but because Gus went out and sold a policy, I'm getting the difference of my contract level 100%, 80%. So I made $240 off of a sales agent that I don't even know. And Gus could be in Florida. He could be in Colorado. See, the thing about the Alliance, they're a national company. I can recruit someone in Florida right now, and that guy in Florida could recruit somebody in Oklahoma. So that guy who sells something in Oklahoma who I don't know, I'm not even in the same state, I can also receive a portion of the commission. If you think about it, once this thing starts to grow and more people come into the opportunity, then you're going to start to receive income off of work that you technically did not do. So if you're out there selling and you're getting a little bit older and you're like, you know what? I don't really want to sell anymore. I just want to enjoy my life because I'm receiving passive income. You can do that. Like, what other job or career could you work and literally say, I no longer want to work, but yet I'm still going to receive income? Maybe on Social Security, but it ain't gonna be a lot of money, right? Maybe you had a 401k plan, right? But it ain't gonna be this type of money, okay? Because you can retire and not sell anymore, but yet your downline continues to grow forever, and the money keeps growing, growing, and growing. Okay. Now, here's what I'm gonna do, because again, I'm smart enough to know that I'm not gonna live forever. If I build an organization and it keeps growing even after I die, why don't I form up an LLC, which I have, Home Rock Insurance, have the money going into my LLC, and then turn around and put my kids on my LLC? So after I pass away, because my kids are part of this LLC that this organization has been built under, my kids will now receive that passive income for the rest of their life. That is legacy, generational wealth building. This is something, my friend, you cannot get this in corporate America. You might be able to work corporate America, make some money, and send your kids to school, and maybe they can get a good job, maybe they won't. But this is income that belongs to you, that literally transfer of wealth. Okay. Now, let's talk about, okay, this sounds great, but I don't make any money unless I can get a client who will commit to paying something to the insurance company so that I can get a commission. So how will we get clients? Now, if you've ever been in any sales organization, the first thing they tell you to do is write a list of every person that you know, and they give you a memory jogger, which is called your sphere of influence, SOI, right? Who's your doctor? Who's your dentist? Who cuts your hair? Who do you go to church with? Who did you go to school with? Who's your best friend, right? So when you become a licensed life insurance agent, like any other business, you need to have your grand opening, right? But you're like, I don't have a storefront, right? There's no ribbon cutting. Okay, great, but you're still a business. Let everybody know that you're open for business as a life insurance financial service provider. Okay. That's the easiest way to jumpstart your business, is just simply tell someone you're a life insurance agent. Now, I got life insurance quite a few years ago, and let me tell you my dilemma. I only know 2 people that were in life insurance, and one of them no longer did life. So I got my life insurance through a guy I met a decade ago at a network meeting when I used to live in Florida. So you have to ask yourself the question, how many life insurance agents do you personally know? And if you're like, I know less than 5, most of you know less than 2, then wouldn't it be wise to call everybody you know who probably know less than 2 and say, hey, who do you know that does life? Oh, I don't know anybody. Okay, great. I do life now. And then you build that relationship with them. Okay. Now, another way you can get clients, social media. Everybody is nosy and on Facebook and all the social media. They love watching the videos and your posts. Let people know I'm now in business. But more importantly, while you're helping people to protect their futures, just advertise that on social media. Hey, I just left my client's house. They're paying $85 a month. They got this type of coverage. Their kids have a policy now, and this and this and this. You're going to have people say, you know what? I was just thinking about that the other day. I need life insurance for my kids, and I need to put life insurance on my husband because he's living a dangerous life in a dangerous job he's doing. And I just want to make sure that if something happens to him, then the mortgage is paid. Just live your life as an agent, and you're going to get clients. Now, here's another way. Um, Most of you that are on this Zoom today, you do not have insurance. You don't have it. So even if you don't join the alliance, there will come a point in time when you're going to say, you know what? I know I need something now. Who do I know? You're going to remember the life insurance agent who invited you to this meeting, right? So if you don't have life insurance right now, remember the person that invited you to this meeting, because if it's me, I want you to remember me. We do life insurance, right? But here's the thing. When you invite people to listen to the opportunity, the majority of them that show up, they don't have life insurance. So that person who may join, right, and become part of your team, most likely they're going to go and get life. So if they're at a level 55 commission and you're at a level 60 or whatever, and they get a policy, you get paid even off the policy that they write for themselves. So by bringing people to Zoom meetings just like this, it's a great way to make income, because they're probably going to get insurance. If not now, they're going to get it in the future. Or if they run across people that are saying, oh man, I want to get this insurance, I got to get it from my family, they're going to say, oh my God, I wish I would have listened to Corey and got my license. But you know what? Let me refer you to Corey, right? So invite people to meetings like this, and you'll build your database of clients. Now, here's another way that you can get clients. Remember, we talked about those little mail outs that go to people's houses. This is exactly what the mail outs look like. This is an example of final expense, which is how much debt do you have and how much of it do you want to have paid off if you pass away? Not if, when you pass away. This one is a mortgage protection mail out, right? It's simply, hey, you got this house, you need to protect it. Yes, you have insurance on your home in case a hurricane comes and it blows your house down. But what's more important, your house or leaving a debt behind for your family? So let's protect your family by getting you a policy that will totally pay off your house and maybe some other debts, and maybe, send your kids to college in the event that something happens. So they send millions of these flyers out. And if you become part of the alliance, which is a lead generating company, you can log into your online account, the ARC, ARC. You can click on 2 different lead pools. And what happens is you can see people that have filled out these cards on a heat map, right? So if you're in my area, I'm in the Houston metro area, I can see Montgomery County, I can see Waller County, I can see Harris County, and it tells me how many prospects in that county have filled out these forms. And when I click on it, and let's say there's 130 of them, I can buy those leads from the alliance. See, they spent millions of dollars to get the data and to send the mail outs. But remember, the alliance also makes a commission when you sell something. So what they're doing is saying, we're going to invest money to generate leads so that our sales force can sell policies, so then they can turn around and make money off their piece of the pie. Okay? It's a brilliant system. Okay, so if this sounds great, you're probably thinking, okay, man, this is awesome. What do I do to get started? So here's what I believe. I believe not in high pressure sales, but also give people stuff for free, right? I'm not a socialist, but I do believe if you give somebody something for free, they can kind of take a sneak peek and say, hey, is this really legitimate, right? So here's one of the things that sets the alliance apart from almost every other insurance IMO out there. The ARC that they built, which, they don't charge for it. They probably should, because it's a lot of value. They allow any person, right? So if you don't have a life insurance license, that's okay. They will let you join them. You will get what's called an NAA number, which is a member number. Once you get that number, you have access to log into the ARC. So now you can do more research on who the alliance is, the training, and everything that you need to make an educated business decision if this is going to be for you. But here's the other thing. Even if you don't have a life insurance license and you get that NAA number, you can now start hiring other people for the alliance, even though you don't have a life insurance. See, if you don't have the life insurance license, you just can't sell, but you can actually hire, right? Now you say, well, why would I want to hire? Simple. If you hire people, and let's say they do have a life insurance license, or they get it faster than you, and they get up and running and start selling, remember all those overrides? You remember how you're getting a piece of the commission based on people you hire? The alliance will save your overrides in your online bank account, which is in the ARC. You can see the money accumulating, right? Your overrides. They want you to see that, because if you start to see that that money is accumulating based on the people you hired, then you're more likely to hurry up and get your life insurance license. And the day that you get that life insurance license, they will release those overrides to you. Okay. Now, if you do have a license already, then once you log into the ARC, the first thing that we need to do is we need to start getting your carrier appointments. See, you got to be assigned with each one of these insurance providers with a subcode, right? So the alliance has to contract with the carriers. They have what's called a master code. You're going to get a sub-producer code connected to each one of these companies. That's how we know that you wrote that policy and how you are supposed to get that commission. And then also, you're going to start doing product training immediately, right? You got to know what you're selling. Now, for those that don't have the license, when you access the ARC with your NAA number, you're going to be able to enroll in a prep course, because you got to take the state exam, right? So how are you going to pass the exam unless you understand what's on the exam? So you're going to take the prep course, and the next slide I'm going to show you that. But regardless, whether you're licensed or not, you can invite people to a hiring meeting like this and start building your team. Now, if you do need a license, there's 2 online schools that you can enroll in. And because Alliance has arrangements with these online schools, you do not have to pay the retail market value for it. They worked out a deal where you're automatically going to get a discount of about $50, right? So for $50, you can take the online course. And then for about another $50, you could take the state exam. And for a few more dollars, you got to do your background checks, right? And once your background is clean, then you get issued a license, right? So how fast can you get it? It just depends on how quick you can get into these online classes and get your studying on. Now, why do they have 2 different classes? Here's why. Some people learn better by watching videos. If you're that person, then you're going to go Exam FX. If you're the type of person who can be on a computer screen and just keep reading, next, reading, next, reading, next, and then take the little reviews, then you need to sign up for Excel. Okay. People learn different ways. So this is the reason for the 2. But the main thing is you do have to have a license for you to sell and for you to get the overrides when you start to hire. Okay. Do we have any questions? I know this was supposed to be a 30-minute presentation. We did get a late start. We had a lot of late people come in. But I do want to open this up for any questions you guys might have. And it looks like nobody wants to share their video there. Okay, I get it. All right. So listen, if there's no questions and you want more information, that Eventbrite email that went to you, if you hit reply, it's going to come right back to me, right? And I do have more information I can send you if you want, like the matrix on your commission levels and things like that. There's a new agent fast track guide. We have it in a digital format. I could send that to you as well. It has articles about the alliance and vacation trips and a lot of good stuff. Reply to that email and say, I want more information, right? And then I'll get you some info. And if you want to sign up to get the NAA number, then whoever invited you to this particular training, get back with them and say, I want to sign up. Okay. It don't cost you anything to get the NAA number. And it reserves your ability that you can also start hiring people, but also you can get that discount on the training. Okay. So if there's no questions, then we're going to go ahead and we are going to wrap this up.